I'm going down to check on my fencing project. Today is July 23. I was running late, and so now it just gave me the chance to get down. I'm expecting that they will be putting the rebars for the next lot of fencing that we are doing, the one that they dug yesterday. So if they've done that, they can pour the footing, and then it will be ready for filing the blocks next day. Then also they can continue digging where the budget bungalow side down there to the boundaries, and then we put back the rubbish over when we have the fence. So hopefully it's all done and Junel's not absent, because I've noticed that every Wednesday now he had a half day. Something's up every Wednesday. So I am now expecting Wednesday he is not working. We've done this before, that he would never do a full week. That's why when he was working for me in the guest house before, we only work at 3 days. Now I've arrived here in the fencing project, and see what they're up to. So this is what they've done. Don Junel has put in the metals for the rebar footing, beam footing for this side. So that will be, he had done it to the end of the boundary line before we go turn to the left from here. So that's the end of our boundary, or the last end of this footing. So you can see it here, that he has managed to continue on this one, and also put some rings on the columns in between that one that is filed yesterday. So if they pour this later, they can continue on digging on that other side of the bungalow. So there's about 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, but I don't think they'll pour the last one, so they can attach that one that's gonna be turning on this left side. There, so this is gonna be poured after lunch today. And right over here on the village park itself, old Lito's burning some fire on the grass, as more and more grass has been dried up. Gamay rin nakuhanan. Green pa man sa to last time, Tay. I told him that it was some of them are green last time, but this time a lot more is dried up. And so next week anyway, the farmer will be here to clear it all up from right down to the ground. I seen there's children here on the right side. I can't wait for this all to be fenced in, so they cannot come here and hurt themselves playing on rolling all over. So they can play where they're on their own place. So this is what we are. We're just burning some of this, but next week a farmer will be digging this right to the ground, so it's all clear. So this is what we are so far this morning. Then we will be pouring this, and this is how it looks like from here. So I told them that we will continue on digging on this side before we do this end here, because that will be a slanting wall towards down there, and it's better for us that to continue this side. So I could see there's 2, 4, 6, 8 bags of cement already ready there for this afternoon. And then I think hopefully Janelle will also finish the files on the top of those hollow blocks there, and in the in-between column, with there's 2 in-between columns that he needs to pour on those ones that they piled yesterday. I'm going back down to check on my fencing project. I'm expecting them to pour already pour the footing beams, and I want to check because I can't hear the mixer here from my house. So they have done the footing. They've used 6.5 bags of cement just to pour this footing right on to the half of that column on the end. So you can see it here. They've filled it all up, and they just went on to have their snacks. So later they will be filing on the last level here where it was left yesterday, and also where in the front there was a gap right to the new columns that will be filled up as well when they come back. And also there's 2 in between columns that you can see here that needs to be extended. As you can see, there is already the extended rebars ready there to be extended after he filed the last part here. So that will be his next job when he come back. So someone comment about that my workers are too slow. Actually, this is just a leisure work project for me. Nobody's rushing because nobody's using this park at least for a few months. So what we're doing here is, it's like when you're doing something in your house, nobody's rushing. It's like that, the feeling I had in here. And like before in the budget bungalow, that I need to rush because I need to transfer the old couple so I could build this. Now that they're transferred out of my way, I was able to build this. Now, with that comment of somebody that my workers are too slow, you gotta remember I only have 3 workers, and we only work, Junel, the main man, only works last time only works 5 days a week. Now, starting a couple of weeks ago, now he only works 4.5 days a week. We have done this before, and we'll soon end up 3 days a week. And then when his missus loses her temper, start throwing his clothes out of the house, we'll be back to normal 5 days a week. He don't want to work 6 days because he wants to have 2 days off. And then now, he's always off. For the last 2 weeks, half day, Wednesday. I know it won't be long. It's the same routine. It will be 4 days. We are still on 4.5. Next, it will be 4 days. He will be on his gaming. And when the missus loses temper, then it will be full day Wednesday. Because that's when the Mobile Legends, all the gamings. Because this lad is into gaming. But he can't afford to stay home to just play games. He needs to find an income. So, and once in a while he slips, like, oh, absent every Wednesday, and it will be like a routine, 4.5 for this week, last 2 weeks, 4.5. Then it will be full day. Wednesday he'll be absent. Then in the next 2 weeks, it'll be 3.5 days. And then 3 days. That's what we stopped last time, 3 days, and I sacked him. I didn't employ him during the building of the budget bungalow. And his missus, lose her temper, throw his clothes out of their house. Now I warned Junelle, we're back again to our routine. Are we going to be having 4? When are we going to have 4 days a week? Then 3.5. Then 3 days. Then back to 5. And he just laughed at me. So, like I said, we are not rushing on this job. We're taking our time. And it's still done. And it doesn't cost me so much strain to get more workers to have it done, because who's rushing? I'm taking my time, making sure it's done, and also I have a proper control on the materials and in the labor. They only work like now 4.5, and then the other 2 work 6 days a week. But I know the material control is now set in again. And so when I start building there with all the houses, the same routine will be followed. When you take out materials, you need to sign something. When you take out tools, you need to find something. Now, talking about tools, like I said with Old B, that what he listed for his Venturi system, not all of the parts I was able to get. And he is not alone. I want you to know that's the usual problem you're gonna have here if you're building in the Philippines. You cannot have all the tools, all the items that you need readily available. So you gotta have to use your innovative creativeness to make your project. So, like you are in your country that you need this 1/4 of this, 1/8 of this, it's there. You just go to your local hardware shop or you're in your main hardware shop, you get it. But in here, you need to improvise, you need to be creative, you need to be innovative. And that's what happened. Otherwise, you start importing, which is gonna be a simple project that only takes a few hours, will take a few months. But that's the extreme. But I think the expats that's living here understand what I mean. And some of you that will be living here, that will be some of the things that you need to accept. You cannot get all the things that you want or what you need here easily. In fact, before, there's not a lot of imported items that's available here, food-wise. Now, you got like the Costco group, like which is the SNR, and then they have the competition of Landers that sells imported food items from America, Australia, UK, Germany. You can now readily buy your imported food around here through those shops. Although we have Rustans before that carry all those imported items, but they are very costly because they were monopolizing it before and they're the only ones providing all those for imported items. But now with the competition of those American, I think they're American companies that's having franchises here, that's where you're able to get your imported food items now. And that will be the same with our tools and parts and items for building. So you might have Lazada, of course, they are nice brochures, nice item on display on their website. But the trouble is when they get delivered, are they going to be delivered or delivered broken? That's the thing that you have to bear in mind. So, living in the Philippines, you should not be expecting the same items as what you can get in your country. We are still like 50 years behind technology wise, I think, from your place. If not 20 years behind, but you don't expect to find the same things you can find in your country to here. And that's where the challenge is met. If you can innovate, create, or make do whatever you can. So it's quite hard when you're living like that. I know the Philippines is not that bad. Some other countries like in Africa, when you can't get anything, and your only option now is to import. But hopefully some of the people here can fabricate stuff anyway, so like they can fabricate the things that you need that you can't get on the shop. Then that's another option that you can have. But I'm looking at here, I believe that my lads are doing a good job, knowing that they're just a 3-man team, and the lead man that I have right now is in his style again of having lesser and lesser days working in a week because his gaming is creeping up to him again. So I haven't reported him to his missus yet. I don't know what he's saying to his missus about why he only have 4.5 days on his payslip. Oh, that's his problem. But when the missus will start asking me, I have to tell him the truth. He only works 3 times a week. So before it won't be long, she will be the one commanding him to go back or out of the house. Then we will be back to the 5 days a week again. We are here extending the metal, the rebars in between the columns, so we can also make the forms and pour the columns in between. So you can see here the old Lito is extending the column, so it will be up more to connect to the beams that we're gonna be pouring next to this 7th file. So I'll just be helping him holding it back. Ayos mo ba kana? They're still using their old hook, as you can see, because that's what they're used to. Although I got those machine that I ordered finally from Lazada, the Tarwar making thing arrived, but they don't seem to like it. They're used to this one, so I just let them be. O sana lang one more time. Ano. So that's how they do it here. They're using this hook that we have. I got 2 of them, been made from the time that I made my castle. I built my castle rather, and that's the hook that was made by those steelmen before. I know there's a machine because I have 2 already, but it's not kasi makalimtan. Pausa. So there's the Deloy doing the mix, so they can file the hollow blocks on the last end on this one, and after that will be the beam. So the Junel as well is filing on the front column, but bringing the muck over here because it's only a few piles, and also that will mean that he can use some of these blocks that's already here. Then it will all be cleared out. So you can see this is what he's gonna be working on today. This one here, and a small one here on the side. I will ask the welding person, the one that's making my gate now, to before we pour the columns, that he can do his like preparation for the gate hinges. on this one. Because I want him to price me for the gate as well, but although he'd already priced me. But I want to make sure that before we do anything to close in the columns, he's already prepared. But unfortunately for that one, he will be chipping that. We buried halfway through that column. Now, we're going to be building the blocks on top of this. Then all you can see is all just straight on to the end. Because Junelle cannot pile blocks on the newly poured one right there. So this is old Lito finishing the last line here, where he's been putting all the extended rebars, and then he'll just fill it up. And while Junelle is on here on the front doing the piles, I let them use most of the hollow blocks around here if they can, because less to carry down. Then it will be more clearer for my sight and for the camera. So that will be a good job done if we clear out most of it. It looks longer now. So that's it. He's on his last blocks. Then he'll just fill it up. Then tomorrow, there'll be 3 panels that they will have to fill up, like right to the 7th line. So that will be additional extended view that we can see from here. And tomorrow is our last day of work, so we only work until Friday. Well, Saturday is our material buying day. So Saturday is only Daloy and Old Lito will be working, picking up sand mostly, and picking up the cement and the rebars. I have it delivered anyway, and also the cement. But they would rather have the few cement because we don't have a proper storage for them yet, and also to avoid any old cement that will start to harden up. So the better that we use new all the time, the better it is for us, because of the rain and heat right now. Cement easily, like a little bit of drops on it from the rain will make it harden in the corners, because we just cover it up with tarpaulin. So this is what we have, what you can see from here on this side of the wall. Then we will start paving out again the earth when we got everything out of here, extending towards the side of the bungalow first. Next week we will be digging that side, so we will be filing on that side, so the mixer will be near the mango tree. So they can also make a form on those in between columns like I mentioned, and from here it'll be looking more extended. Ning da? Santo lo yaslom.
Ganto day ka suroy ra gud nga to sa amo makaana juga na di tampis na kay tampis na kanto.
Nakakaon ko dito sa inyo oy every summer. Because someone is now santol time. Some Filipinos know what's a santol. It's like a fruit, like most of it's sour, and it's not my favorite fruit. But Junel said behind his house there's a big santol that's really sweet, not like most santol around here. It's really sour. And I told him that I always had some santols from your place every summer. So it's looking good here. This is the view from the road. This is our main road before you turn to the BPP road. And on this view here, so there will be 2 gates there on the front. Because it's a must for a gate, because even right now that we're just doing this, there's a truck that's actually parking inside because they want to sleep. They want to sleep, so they park inside. So now you can imagine it, if we just leave it like that and the gate will be right near the entrance of the property, this will be the parking space for most people, then motorbikes, the lot. So I don't want that to happen, that I will be struggling to go inside your own road because people have used it. Or another thing that they do is they file all their crops. They also file it where your cemented road is because it's cleaner. And they will just move it when you use it. They will be like arguing with you. Oh, you haven't used it yet. Like all the charcoal, it needs a dry area. If we file there before some buyer will pick it up, or firewood. So to avoid all that, might as well put a gate in there. And you know that scaffold that we had, that's what we put in across when we finish for the week, because we don't want those trucks to be going in there just to sleep. So this is what we are. That's view from the road. So we'll just end here for now. As you can see, they have done the footing, last line here, and a few blocks on the front. So that's what we are for today. And then tomorrow, they will be continuing to file on this side of the wall. So that's what you can see, but tomorrow they will be filing here, so they'll be looking longer. Lagi.